Hello everyone, my name is MrJepthah, and I'm kind of bored with video games. I think I'm gonna go outside and play some golf.
Oh. You know, this would be a lot more fun with Kirby. Not to play against Kirby, but to, hate Kirby with the golf club. Hey!
I imagine that's how the idea for Kirby's Dream Course came to be, because that's literally the game. Golf with Kirby, and Kirby is the ball. HAL Laboratories had become very popular for many different games, including one specific game for the Game Boy that would eventually take the world by storm, Kirby's Dream Land. This introduced the world to everyone's favorite cute, murderous pink ball who drew comics for a living, and it sold really well. So more Kirby games were made. Kirby's Adventure, Kirby's Pinball Land, and today's subject, Kirby's Dream Course for the Super Nintendo. It was originally intended to be a zany golf game called Special Tee Shot, but after the success of the first Kirby game, they shelved this game and put most of their focus on the Kirby games that followed until they took this game off the shelf and thought to themselves,
Just throw Kirby in it or something.
yep, all the elements of the original game changed to Kirby sprites. Now, I do have something very, very important to admit here. Oh! Look who it is! Hi, Mr. Credibility! Oh, Mr. Credibility! you're a card, Oh, what a card. I love you. I don't like Kirby.
Kirby, that's me.
Okay, it's not like I don't like Kirby the character. I like using Kirby in Smash Brothers, and I have a bit of nostalgia for the Kirby Right Back At Ya TV series. Granted, I remember very little about that show, just that I watched it and rather enjoyed it. Oh, dude, are you all right, Mr. Credibility? You doing good? That's good to hear. That's great. I just don't like Kirby video games. I don't really have a good explanation. It's certainly not for lack of trying. Kirby games just haven't really been my thing. But upon receiving my SNES Classic for Christmas a few years ago from my cousin who needs normal, I played this game a lot out of the bunch, and it quickly became one of my all-time favorites of the console. But does it deserve the respect of it being a part of that mini console, or for being on a lot of other players' all-time favorite SNES games lists? Huh. And just like other great golf games, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004 for example, this game has a story. So there's some place called Dreamland where everybody's lazy, and they sleep all the time. So since this peaceful place is unguarded, it is of course going to be the target of King DDD's attack. Sort of. Wait, DDD? Is this a Dexter's Lab crossover?
Didi, what are you doing in my laboratory?
DDD takes all of their stars from the sky. Wait, did I read that right? I guess so. What is that, their chief export or something? So now it's up to Kirby to take back the stolen stars and destroy DDD for his evil scheme. Trust me, I'm making it sound more epic than it really is. To be fair, this plot isn't even in the game. I just had to read that from the manual, like any good classic gamer. No way, Kirby's in this game? Before I start this game, I am asked to create a save file. And instead of how save files are created in other SNES games, with a keyboard, you draw your name or whatever you want to in a little slate. I can imagine that someone immature would do something totally inappropriate with this. Unlike usual SNES games, if you wait on the main menu to find out what the story is, instead, Kirby's Dream Course just plays demos showing you how the game works. Luckily enough, I've played this game before and I don't need this. Ah, nuts, I don't remember how to do the things. Each course begins with a cute little cinematic that showcases Kirby doing a thing. And this brings me to my next point. Now, as everyone knows, Kirby might seem all cute and cuddly, but don't be fooled. He's really a murderous psychopath, And this game is a prime example of how sick and twisted this little ball boy is. When looking around the course, you may notice that there is no hole, and there's a lot of these innocent bystanders who won't hurt you at all. In this game, just like your everyday standard golf games, you have to murder every one of these innocent bystanders in your path until the last person on the board becomes the hole, and then you have to try to get Kirby in the hole to end the round. If you think I'm exaggerating about him killing innocent bystanders, and that they're actually just bad guys from previous Kirby games, then tell me this. What kind of threat do these things pose to Kirby? Because all you have to do is roll up to them and they die. They do nothing to hurt you. If you still don't believe me, the game manual literally says that they are harmless characters. They have no special powers, so they cannot hurt Kirby. They turn into stars when Kirby hits them, i.e., Kirby murders innocent lives! Am I too loud? Kirby is the golf ball, and there are lots of different ways you can hit him. There's a guideline to help you aim where you want him to go. You can change it by pushing up or down on the D-pad. If you push down, he'll go further if you have a long shot coming up. And if you push up, it will aim Kirby up in the air, which is really helpful for going up steep cliffs or avoiding obstacles. You can also make spin shots if you need to roll Kirby a specific way, like to the right or to the left. Or if you're making a lob shot, if you hit Kirby right, you can give Kirby a top spin or a back spin. The guideline is very helpful with aiming, but I can't for the life of me figure out the meter. You have to be so precise when you're shooting at the hole because it's too small, so if you even slightly overshoot it, it bounces off. This is easily the hardest part of the game for me at certain points. Each course has a different shape and obstacles that really shake things up to where you have to figure out the puzzle of whatever course you're on. Some of those obstacles are spiky guys, clouds with lightning, and Mr. Oak from that Waterville movie I watched as a kid.
Mr. Oak is always ready with a story that's very, very long.
If you need more specifics on how to play the game and you don't have or you don't want to look at the manual, I can't read. There's a demo menu where you can learn the game mechanics on the screen. It feels like I'm watching YouTube tutorials before YouTube tutorials were a thing, but I don't need that either because I already know how to play. I should maybe learn how the power-ups work. There are different power-ups you can pick up throughout the courses from certain glowing enemies. After Kirby kills some unsuspecting victims, he can take their powers. There's the high jump, which gives him an extra boost in the air, an umbrella, which turns you into Mary Poppins,
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
an electrical power that can destroy certain obstacles when used, a wheel that turns him into Sonic the Hedgehog,
Take a long shower by the time we're done.
a rock, because Kirby wasn't overpowered enough, a freezing power that turns any water Kirby goes over into ice, baby, a tornado that overdramatically kills Superman's dad, a porcupine power to make a complete stop anywhere on the board, a fireball to cause more wanton destruction than he already was, and a UFO power to probe cows with or something. For every stroke you make, you use up a piece of your energy, signified on the screen by 4 tomatoes. As previously stated, I am not a Kirby fan. So I'm not sure of the significance of the tomatoes. So I'm just gonna say it's Bob the Tomato. Every time you kill someone or get Kirby in the hole, you get back a Bob for everything you get. If you hit the enemies that can hurt you, you lose an extra Bob. If you fall off the edge of the course, then you lose all your Bobs and your power-up and a whole life, which you have 3 of to start with in each course. If you get a hole in one, you get a 1-up. You will notice throughout the levels that there is a green line making perimeters through the holes. This is perfect because it's a barrier that Kirby just bounces off of when he rolls into them. The key word being rolls. Kirby can in fact bounce over them, so just be careful when aiming around ledges and such. While I have been talking a lot about the gameplay, I do want to touch on the presentation of the game. And I've gotta say, there are a lot of stars in this game. While I won't talk much about how the style of the presentation matches the other Kirby games, because, well, for previously stated reasons, I do really like the happy-go-lucky style of the game. There's nothing really dark and depressing about it, despite the high body count. In fact, the only thing that depresses me about this game is the fact that I'm really bad at the game. Seriously, Course 3 took me over 12 tries. And that's just all the times I saw the game over screen. That's not including the times I just had to restart, just to get through the third course. The third course. Literally an hour and 15 minutes. For Course 3. There's a reason I have a show on this channel called Let's Stink. It's because I really stink at video games. The music in this game is fun and catchy, again, despite the disturbing subject matter. But to be honest, really only one or two of the tracks I like enough to put on a favorite video game scores playlist. But the entirety of the soundtrack works for what it is. In the one-player mode, you make your way through 8 courses of 8 holes before you come up to the final boss, King DDD. Okay, we've done it. We've murdered all of DDD's minions. Now it's time to murder the man himself. Or the robot, actually. All you have to do is fling yourself into the air and hit him as many times as you can without getting hit by DDD toys or something. This is probably the easiest part of the game. It's also the most tedious. When you destroy the robot, you find out it was DDD all along, and then he blows up or something. I'm so lost. But we can probably safely add another notch to Kirby's body count. Video games are most often fun when played with another person, and Kirby's Dream Course is no exception. It's always nice to have an accomplice for all of your serial killings. Seeing as how this mode can't just have 2 pink Kirbys, they created a new character, a yellow Kirby as the face of the second player that would be named Kirby, which if you think about it is just saying Kirby with a funny accent. I just assumed they didn't focus group that name. There are 4 different courses to choose from: Wispy Woods, Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright, Kracko, and Gordo. Then you find out the turn order by rolling a die that's totally not predetermined, and then set up your respective handicaps, setting your difficulties on shot power, guide length, and marker speed. The game plays very similar to how the single player part of the game plays, with one major difference. You are not scored based on strokes, like regular golf. It's based on how many people you murder. I mean how many stars you accumulate. This not only means that you have to strategize and kill as many innocents as you can, but you can also steal your opponent's stars. This adds a new element of strategy where you have to decide whether to steal your opponent's star or kill another victim. The winner gets bragging rights, and the loser has to die or something. It is a Kirby game after all. But MrJepthah. Oh, hi, Mr. Peanut Juice Man. You look like you're in a bit of a sour mood today.
I've just been sitting here waiting for my obligatory cameo, but you haven't really let me get a word in edgewise.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, that's about all I got. So, what did you think of the game in the end?
Well, Kirby's Dream Course has a lot to offer. It's a fun sports game and murder simulator. Yeah, forget GTA. This is the harbinger of all anarchy games. But seriously, I've always liked this game from the first time I turned it on. Not only is there plenty of gameplay strategy in all the modes, but it's also fun and lighthearted where anyone can enjoy it. From children to cynical 27-year-old man-children. I still don't have the fondness for Kirby games that other people do. Aside from this game, there's something about it that I keep coming back to that I really enjoy. Maybe it's the happy feelings, the golf, I don't know. But if I had a top 10 list of my favorite games on my all-time favorite console, the chances are very strong that this game would be on that list, due to all the fun that I've had playing this game. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to jail for an undiscernible amount of time, considering all the murder that I've caused in Kirby's Dream Course, and in this video in general. I mean, I just thought we were going to cut to the end screen, but I guess we're doing this now. That's it. I'm not going back to jail. There's murderers in there!